The last two types of tissue, muscle and neural, are much easier than epithelial and connective. Skeletal muscle tissue is attached to skeletal muscles, and these cells are very, very long. They're striated, or they look banded. They have multiple nuclei, and they will move the skeleton. They will guard entrances and exits. They generate heat, and they protect internal organs. So you can see the banding or striations on this skeletal muscle. So this is one cell, and it continues, can be 10 inches long, and it has multiple nuclei in the cell. Cardiac muscle tissue is only in the heart. These cells are shorter and branched, they're striated, and they're held together by these specialized junctions called intercalated discs. They're gap junctions that allow information to pass from one muscle cell to the next in the heart, so the muscles all contract in unison. You can see the branching here. You can see these odd zigzaggy connections. Those are the intercalated discs. And finally, smooth muscle tissue is throughout the body. It's in our skin, it's in the walls of blood vessels, it's in our digestive, respiratory, urinary, and reproductive organs. These cells are shorter, they're spindle-shaped, non-striated, and have a single nucleus. They cause movement within the body. They control the diameter of passageways. So here you can see a section of the small intestine, and it is surrounded by smooth muscle that can control the diameter of that small intestine. These cells are uninucleated, that is one nucleus per cell, and they're spindle-shaped. Which of the following is capable of movement? Smooth muscle tissue. And neural tissue is specialized to conduct electrical impulses. Most of this neural tissue is in the brain and spinal cord, and there's two types of cells: the neurons, which conduct the impulses, and the neuroglia or glial cells that support the neurons. There are 4 different types of neuroglia, and what they'll do is they protect, they repair, they support, they provide nutrients, take away wastes, and in other words, allow the neurons to exist. Here's a typical neuron with a cell body, multiple dendrites branching out of the cell body, and one single long axon, and the action impulse travels from the cell body out the axon to the end. What type of tissue is primarily responsible for transmission of information? Neural tissue. Which of the following tissues has a good blood supply? Our bones are very vascular. Which of the following can regenerate well after damage? This is almost the same as what has a good blood supply. And that, again, would be osseous tissue. The last part of this chapter talks about response to tissue and injury, and that would be inflammation. And these are the signs of inflammation. The area is warm, it's painful, it's red, and swollen. So when there's an injury, such as this knee, the general defense mechanism is activated. In this case, there are pathogens or bacteria that are getting in the wound. The mast cells, which are in the tissue, release histamine. This histamine is going to increase the blood flow to the area, and that's going to cause it to be warm. All that extra blood to the area applies pressure to the nerves, which will cause the pain. All that blood to the area makes it swollen and red as well. So with the great blood supply to the area, you have an increase in temperature and an increase in oxygen and nutrients. The increase in temperature increases phagocytosis, and toxins and waste are removed.